Due to an unforeseen injury, today's video is going to be changing to a mailbag. Hope that's okay with everyone. Today I will be covering as many of the mailbag topics as I can cover. So, if you've asked a question, it might be here. I am Dave the Amateur Magus. On this channel I talk all about the mechanics behind ceremonial magic, occultism, esotericism, and the mechanics behind everything you can find within a dusty old grimoire. If you enjoy what I do here and you want to support the channel, Patreon link in the description. You get exclusive access to stuff, including the Occultic Manual series, which is a monthly write-up that is more advanced than what I have here on the channel 90% of the time, and less advanced than what you would find in, say, a typical grimoire like the Lesser Key of Solomon. So if that interests you, click on the link in the description, and it also supports the channel. And if you're already watching this on Patreon through the Early Access program, you have my thanks for your continued and ongoing support. So today is going to be a mailbag, so I'm going to read YouTube questions that I think should be answered, and I'm just going to read them out loud, and we are going to answer them. So let's get into it. And they will not be on screen because I do not have access to both of my hands right now due to an injury. So let's get into it. Alright, so, first question. If we do rituals in a Pisces moon, will it cause loneliness? I thought Venus was exalted in Pisces. If it does cause loneliness, maybe I should not work with Pisces. So, Venus is exalted in Pisces, and the reason for this is because this is the fairy tale, like the final storybook ending of Pisces. Pisces is also correspondent to endings. And so Pisces is... which is why Saturn in Pisces is the Eight of Cups. This is the man walking away. But you also have Jupiter in Pisces and Mars in Pisces, both being positive. Now, what is the difference? Well, Saturn is no, and Jupiter is benevolent expansion. So, and Mars is going to be energy and working towards, as well as destruction. So, when we have the Saturn in Pisces, it is no endings. We don't have a satisfactory ending. This is kind of the anticlimax ending. We have Jupiter in Pisces, which is the ending that is the successful story, the success story ending, the everyone is happy kind of ending. And then we have Mars in Pisces, which is the hard-fought, this is you won your happy ending kind of thing. So if you work with the moon in Pisces, that does cause it to be a little bit lonely, but also, Moon in Pisces should not be understated for how beneficial it is for magic. What do you think about X book? Now, I get this question a lot. My basic answer is going to be everything Stephen Skinner does is good. Everything by Regardi is good if you take it with a grain of salt. Dion Fortune is pretty good. Everything in Kabbalah magic is pretty good with the exception of the Egyptian stuff. And I have not read all of Regardi, and I have only read Book of the Law by Crowley, so please don't fucking ask me about Crowley. Why do the spirits want us to keep silent? Is it because they don't want the masses to elevate because they see the mundane as swines and are not meant for their pearls? And if that is the case, are they a toxic elitist, or is God simply waiting for a certain time before allowing this information to come into public light, if it ever will? Okay, so this is an interesting question, and the question here is basically, why do spirits want us to keep silent? Is it because people are pearls and you do not cast pearls before swine? And the answer is a little bit of yes, a little bit of no. Primarily, yes, but that's because if you tell people about magical tricks, they won't even believe you, most of the time. Most people will not believe you, so it's kind of like you're giving away this sacred wisdom and you're not actually giving it to people who would give a shit about it. Yeah, so no, it's not that good. It is interesting, just kind of like the way things go about, because generally speaking, the reason they want you to keep silent is because it is a pearls before swine situation, and because not everyone is supposed to have sacred occult knowledge, and that's fine. And, you know, there's some people in the comment section sometimes that I question why I share the knowledge, but you know what, I keep going and persisting anyways. The horrors persist, yet so do I, so to speak. And so, yeah, a lot of spirits see that, and they just kind of think, well, if somebody is smart enough to deserve this information, it will be given to them, and they can ask for it themselves, not given it by some random person. I'm curious your take on Christianity, where demons are all spiritual beings, ungodly, and the millions, maybe billions of testimonials that have met them. How are you sure your visitations aren't of Satan? Well, at least one of them was. I did the Abramelin, and Satan is one of the named demons in there. But how do I know that I'm actually encountering angels instead of demons? Basically, if you're calling up a demon and you're doing it in the name of God, the way I look at it is, why would God lie to you about sending you their messengers when that has happened documented times in the past? It's one of those things of like, just because you are calling something up, there are ways to see if it is a deceiver. We have those methods, and those methods have been passed down and they have been verified by hundreds of thousands of people. Now, the real question is that how do I know that all of the visitations aren't from Satan? Well, I just mentioned that I'm like 99% sure that at least one of them is, and the reason why I'm at least 99% sure is because there was an experience I had during the Abramelin ritual where I called up Satan, and he was one of the 4 demonic kings who rule over hell. That was he was one of the ones that was there, and I ended up knowing that old cliche of the laughter of demons, like what that actually means. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that I know the difference. Now the question is, what is my take on Christianity where demons are all spiritual, ungodly beings? Yeah, no, demons are real. I've never said that demons aren't real. Do I think that all the visitations and like all the evocations are actually Satan? No, because there's a line in the Bible somewhere, I might be misremembering this a little bit, but there's a line in the Bible that says, what kind of father gives their son a serpent when they ask for fish? In regards to, like, the son is hungry, they ask the father, and so then the father gives them a snake. And, the rhetorical question is, what kind of father does that? And the answer is a shitty one. And if Christianity is right, God is an all-knowing, all-loving father, so therefore it was actually that kind of thing. There's also a weird thing where prior to Aquinas, this was like a well-documented thing. It wasn't until after Aquinas that the evocations and talking to angels were kind of frowned upon, because it was more of a case of he wasn't sure, and he wasn't an occultist, and I don't think at any point should we be caring what non-occultists think about our occult works. So, yeah. Are the Pygmy and Hobbit people elemental spirits having gained enough density to occupy physical forms? No, that's just different names for gnomes. I don't think hobbits are real. There might be some, like, weird fey creature folklore that's true, but, no, they're generally speaking, gnomes was not the codified name. I believe Paracelsus actually uses pygmies as the name for the earth elementals, so, yeah, take it that what you will. You remind me of Plague of Gripes so much. I'm not Plague of Gripes, but I do like his channel. Thank you. Hi, where could I read evocation reports and where can I learn about the evocation of archangels? For the last section of that question, Trithemius's drawing spirits into crystals is the preferred method I use, or the, there are some other things. As for where you can read evocation reports, very few people share them, and very few people share them for kind of the reason I gave in the previous video. But at the same time, it's worth noting that just because you are not the kind of person to share your evocation reports doesn't mean that you shouldn't know how to write them, so that if you do want to share them, people can know that you're coming at it from a more scientific framework. So, yeah. Is thaumaturgy dangerous? This is a question that I got on one of my oldest videos, which is about thaumaturgy versus theurgy. And the answer is, most of the time it's pretty safe. But you do need to follow the basic procedures. All magic can be dangerous, and, all magic can be dangerous, but we all take time and we all do our due diligence to make sure that we are not getting any issues. It's kind of the whole problem with cooking. Like, all cooking can be dangerous if you're not, like, if you don't know what you're doing. You can always burn things and you can always do that, but we don't stop cooking just because some person doesn't know how to use a stove properly, that we teach them how to use the stove properly, and that's hopefully what I do on this channel. As for what is particularly safe, usually angel work is particularly safe. Usually deity work is particularly safe, especially if it's not like god form or evocation type material. If you're just kind of doing a devotional thing, the energy of those spirits will come into your life and will, generally speaking, be fairly beneficial to you. The content is good, the delivery is a bit condescending, just my opinion. That's because some of the time I'm trying to enunciate my words in a very particular way, and sometimes I am trying to get it across as bluntly as possible. There is no condescension in my voice. For fuck's sake, I wouldn't be doing a comment video if I was trying to be condescending, but it's just kind of the way my voice is. Like, I just naturally sound a little bit condescending and a little bit like a sarcastic asshole. It's just kind of me. Not really anything I can do about that. And sometimes the videos I'm trying to really get my point across in as precise words as possible. So I do take a bit of time to think about what I am saying in the actual recording process. There's a lot of times I will actually go through and record, and I will actually rewind and I will cut something out because it's either too aggressive or it really is just some kind of rambling side tangent. That just kind of happens, and there's a lot of ums that I try to get out of some of the videos. This is kind of one of those videos that I'm not doing that with, but so yeah. Sorry about the condescension if anyone thinks I'm condescending. I'm not trying to. It's just kind of my voice. How do you get to bind both your Holy Guardian Angel and your Dark Guardian Angel? Ask the HGA. How do angels relay information back to you? This is kind of an interesting one because angels and all spirits kind of get you to think in certain ways and make you think that you are receiving some kind of idea or thought, like you are hearing them or you are having an image beamed into your head. Most notably, this last one happens with Gabriel, but other spirits usually will try to communicate in vague forms of language, I've noticed. Usually angels are pretty good about communicating in normal language. Can you make a video on how to do a ritual / invoke an element and basically do a step-by-step, or just explain it all in detail? No. The reason I'm not doing that is because Regardi's book, Complete Golden Dawn, has a lot of those, and the one I work out of is Kabbalah Magic and the Great Work of Self-Transformation. I finished doing that work a long time ago, but I still use that book to this day. So yeah, just because it's more of an ease of access thing than anything else at this point. It's just like, I know where it is, it's pretty easy to use, so that's why I use it. Now, this was most of the questions I could see that were pretty easy to answer. There were some questions like, would you do X video? Or some, like, very specific, like, can you make a video about X topic? Or can you make a sequel to X, Y, or Z video? And I will be probably making those. Depends on what they are. Like, there was a lot of questions about talismans. I haven't gotten to a talisman video. That's just what's going on. But yeah, these were the comments that I decided to read. Some people were pretty great in the comments. Some people seemed like they were having a mental episode in the comments. You know who you are. So yeah, I have been Dave the Amateur Magus. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of impromptu mailbag. I am in pain. Hope everyone is having a good day. If you're not having a good day, hope your day gets better. Take it easy, take care, and I will see you next time, hopefully with the regularly scheduled content, as it were. Take it easy.